Alright, so this is lighting conditions here in my little home office. I got a little light source here, which is my computer monitor. Let me turn this off. And the lighting in here isn't that great. I mean, obviously it's still it's daylight. It's 1 o'clock or 1:30. And it's pretty good, as you can see. Everything comes out pretty well. One thing I will notice that you'll notice is if you really nitpick and you look at the screen and you just really look, you might be able to see some lines. And I'm guessing that's the interlacing, but I always thought the interlacing was the other way, but horizontal interlacing. But that could just be the monitor. You know, it looks really good on a TV. So if your primary viewing is going to be on the television source, it's going to look amazing. I do really feel like I noticed the 60 frames per second, because it does come out really clean. Definitely much better than the 24 frames on the Canon. You know, the Canon digital camera. I'm going to open the shades here and you can kind of see how the camera adjusts. And of course it should come out pretty bad, so let's see what it looks like. There you go. Because I got the backlight, so it's going to have to, because right now I have it on auto mode. And deciding whether or not this is going to be really good video, let me open this one too. So now I got some really good light, but it's from the back. Hopefully it adjusts really well. But I just wanted to share and just have you see kind of what the quality is like. If there was a better way for me to share video, it would be great. I'll tell you right now, the screen on this camera is really good. So it makes everything look really, really good. And part of it is the resolution is very high, but also the screen is obviously very small. So, I mean, anything that's back there, it looks amazing. And if you go to Best Buy or Fry's or whatever, and you test the camera out yourself, you're going to be pretty impressed with how it looks. And again, being for the price I made for it, 120 bucks, I really can't complain. So this is my test video for the Sony WX50, and right now I'm in my car. It's about, what time is it right now? 9 o'clock. And I'm just testing kind of moderate light conditions, you know, in the car. You can see, you know, this is 60 frames per second on a 1080 60i. Okay, so I am here. I got a haircut appointment, and I'm outside. You can see the sound quality as I talk in this camera. It's pretty good. I mean, I've listened to it. The cool thing too is when you zoom in, you can't hear it, which is pretty cool. So I'm outside. It's about 9:40 right now, 10 a.m. in the morning. Got the sun in my eyes. The camera is steady. Walking towards it. One thing I do like about a standard camcorder is that standard camcorder has a zoom audio, so the microphone points towards your subject, and you can get better sound. With this particular camera, it comes out pretty good. Like I said earlier, you zoom in. Why don't you go zoom in, babe? The cool thing about the zoom seems pretty smooth. I listened to a review saying it was jerky. I mean, it's not as good as a camcorder, but it functions pretty damn good, and you can't hear the zoom. As well, it's actually.
You could. That's awesome.
Smile. Yeah, you can take pictures while it's recording.
Cool.
Take a picture.
Captured it. That's cool.
Look, do you want to do this? Do you want to play nights? Hey, you want to show you and the king of the world.
And there, come on. Ah! Isaac went down already.
Why are you recording us?
What?
Look. And I can get out easily. And I can climb up like this.
Alright, we got some evening recording here. It's pretty dark, but it kind of gives you an idea. what the video quality is like. So one thing you'll notice in this camera, especially with point and shoot digital cameras that you use as camcorders like I am, what you'll notice is that when you go from dark to light, or when there's a lot of changing and from very dark to kind of a lighter source, what will happen is the camera takes more time to focus. So there's some focus speed issues with the point and shoot versus a camcorder. A low light situation here. Let's go see how this does. I'm right here, hallway, no lights. It's pretty dark in here. It's actually a pretty dark spot right here. If I go over here, this is my laundry room. Can't see anything, which is expected. Going into my son's room. It's just taking some time to focus. Or macro, huh? There we go. Now we focused. Okay. Alright, buddy. One other thing I wanted to do is, obviously from kind of a dark room or a darker room to kind of the backlight, I'm going to go and close the shade and see how you see how the light adjusts on the camera. So for everyday viewing, this comes out pretty clean. In my opinion, it comes out pretty decent, especially for a digital camera. One thing I will definitely say for sure is the battery life. If you do a lot of video, it really does kill it. I mean, it's not designed. It was never originally designed to be a camcorder, but I was looking for a compact camcorder replacement. Dad? Camera is pretty quick. The WX50 is a pretty fast camera. I'm just going to cycle through some of these options. The option, for someone who doesn't have a lot of experience with taking pictures, like myself, uses the auto mode. And I'm just snapping a few pictures just so you can see kind of the speed. And it takes pictures pretty good. I mean, it's just any other modern point and shoot camera. I turn on the flash here, kind of just scrolling through the settings. A lot of people who are not familiar with Sony's menu system, it can be a little bit confusing with the video, because if you read on their specs on their website, or you check the box, it says that it has 1080 at 60i or 1080i at 60 frames per second. Oh, and they also allow 720p at 30 frames per second. So for whatever reason, if you need to go to 30 frames per second, there's a way to get there. It's just that it's not completely intuitive. You have to go here to this little suitcase, and after you go to this suitcase, you got to go to change the movie format from AV-CHD to MP4. So I'm going to change that right now. So right now it's on 60i, or 1080 60i. So now I'm going to put MP4 here at 30 frames per second. So if you put it at the 30p, or the you'll be able to see the different settings. So you can do, I guess, 1080. What's really 720 at 30 frames per second. So if you need the 30 frames per second, that option is there. One of the reasons why I got this camera in the first place was because it had 60 and it had 30. I didn't want to have a camera that didn't have 30 frames per second, just because it's been a while since I've done a whole lot of video editing, and I'm not sure what video is compatible with what software, and I'm sure Adobe Premiere is compatible with anything, but you like to pick video format that's going to allow for just easy importing, exporting, and rendering and usage. This here is shooting defocus mode. Now defocus mode allows for kind of getting that good shallow depth of field. That way you can get a kind of a blurry background and behind your subject. However, it doesn't have a very good it's not that easy to get working. You have to be 30 centimeters is the recommendation, but hey, what can you expect from a point and shoot camera? And then we have here the panoramic, and the panorama is pretty sweet. It's pretty easy to use. So thanks for watching my review, video review of the quality of the Sony DSC WX50. Again, this was mostly just a video review of the quality and just getting some comparisons in different lighting as well as different speeds of movement. It's a really good camera. One thing I will make another note, again, I mentioned about the battery life. I did go on eBay and buy some batteries. I bought 2 batteries. They're about $5 or $6 each. And I bought them because this battery life is not very good for video recording. So if I'm out on vacation, I'm going to have 2 or 3 extra camera batteries around, so that way I can make it last the whole day to capture my family.